So I've been getting a lot of questions from my team about the way that we solve problems for life insurance agents as it relates to leads, right? So today we're going to talk about life insurance leads, the life insurance industry, how we were sold into a broken system, and how we created a process and a model that solves those problems for you. So if you're not making enough money with life insurance now, if you're defaulting to buying aged lists and selling final expense, listen, if it's working for you, we love that. But we think that there is a better way which will allow you to help more people and make money faster without defaulting to that broken system. If you guys didn't know this, there are over 1 million life insurance agents licensed per year, and we fail at a 92% attrition. 8% of us succeed. The question today that we're going to cover is, why do only 8% succeed? And what could we do to help serve the other 92% who dedicated their lives to this, but for whatever reason were not set up for success? All right, let's get into it. But let me just break some of this stuff down for you guys, right? Like, if you're not aware of the fact that there are over 1 million agents licensed per year and that they fail at a 92% attrition, listen up. The reality is that the reason that only 8% succeed is because typically those people come connected into a team, or they have a big circle, or they've got somebody supporting them in a bigger, better way than the average career or captive agency would support them. Here's what I mean. We work with over 1,000 agents throughout the country, are our affiliates that work with us to bring companies into our plan. And what we have as a solution to life insurance leads is it's a process, not a product, which again, I'll explain here in a moment, but I'm really just trying to break down how is it possible that over 1 million people are licensed every year and only 8% of them succeed? And then the 8% who do succeed don't make six figures. Maybe 2 or 3% of those earn six figures when we're sold this vision that we're coming into an industry that is, top 3 highest income earning sales gigs we can get. We get to help people with this thing that they really need, and we get to make a lot of money doing it. But then when we get into the role, we realize that we are being required to set X number of appointments per day. In order to do that, I have to make X number of dials per day. That will result in this number of appointments. And over and above that, I've got to talk to every one of my friends and family. I've got to go to networking groups and BNI, and I've really just got to grind to build a circle of influence. And once I build up my book enough to get referrals, then business will start to come more easily. But that takes a long time, clearly longer than the first year that we're in it. I just talked to one of our new agents the other day, and she spent, a couple of years with a pretty large brand that everybody would be familiar with. And last year she averaged 60 hours per week to earn about $30,000, right? So she had to stop doing it. Her and her husband started a business, but because she's licensed, I asked her if she was interested in leveraging that license to earn some commissions. Because now that they started their own business, she's still going to do all of the same networking, but it's with a different focus. She was able to onboard 1 client with us and make more money in commissions in 1 month than she did in the entire year. And when we were talking about that commissions distribution, she filled me in on the fact that a lot of those policies charged back, so she got commissions clawed back. So she ended the year earning minimum wage for 60 hours worth of work per week and making less, than she ever intended to, right? So the system that we had in place was a good fit. So the industry is typically broken, even if we are meeting the minimums that the career or captive agency wants us to, and setting the number of appointments because of the number of calls and all of the networking that we did. We know that most of those policies are going to charge back or churn out at like 40%. So it's like we really have to double the amount of volume in terms of policies that we write, premiums that we write, in order to succeed. That model is broken. If it weren't broken, more people would win. And I feel like the industry has kind of set us up for failure, in my opinion, because what happened to those 60% of policies that did stick, even though you didn't continue to sell the next year? The broker got the renewals. So their commissions are going to continue to come through. So what they have found is that life insurance leads are difficult. What's our strategy? We're going to recruit people. And if they completely crush and become obsessed about it, then they're going to win and they're going to stay. But whether they stay or not, those policies are going to stick and we get to keep the business. So you are their lead gen method, right? But what about lead gen methods for us? Well, very common, we're going to be introduced to a lead source. Maybe they'll deliver some leads to us, or we find a way to go buy leads. But what are those leads? Those leads are aged lists that are resold to multiple other agents, and the conversion rate on those leads are not great. What happens is that we came in thinking that we're going to do life and term life, whole life policies, maybe some financial planning, and that's the place that we want to get to. So we need to build our book and build our skill set to get up to this place where I can do that. But the reality is, in order to make my way, I've got to sell final expense, right, from this list of leads that is aged that a bunch of other people are calling. And listen, some people are completely killing it doing that, but most people are not. It's something that they default to. That's like the plan B, right? Well, in my opinion, networking is very valuable and very critical, but it's not necessarily the ability of the agent to sell or to market themselves. Because even if I talk to a prospect who is qualified for my product, if they don't buy, I just lost my best prospect and I have to start that process over again. But if they do buy, I just lost my best prospect and I have to start that process over again. It's not as though there is this client journey of other products we can resell, upsell, cross-sell, and are referrals going to come from some people? Sure. Is every account worth 3 referrals? No, not always. And again, that just tripled the amount of work that I have to do to work those leads and get them in. And so if the model is broken and we were sold an idea about how we could succeed, if you're failing, it's not your fault. Okay. Now, I've been in sales and sales coaching for years. I'm a consummate entrepreneur, and what I have found is that some people are really great at sales, naturally gifted. Some people not so much. And so for those that are not naturally gifted and not great and have not spent a bunch of time and money on training, because keep in mind that 8% who succeed, most of them had to spend at least $20K that year for coaching or marketing or resources to help them to win faster. Not everybody has the resources to do that. So I have this belief in my mind that it's not necessarily about the product or the leads or even your work ethic or your sales skills. It's about the process, the system, right? So is the industry average system designed for us to win or fail? I think statistically, 92% of people fail. So the data tells us that it is not designed in a way that would, set us up for success. So how do we take a mediocre closer or salesperson? How do we take a good agent and make them great? Well, my opinion is that if we can put the right process and the right products in the hands of talented people, then a good person is going to become great, a great person is going to become phenomenal, and even a mediocre person is going to see more wins. So what's the alternative to aged lists, etc.? Well, what we have in place is, we're in business for over a decade. And what we have created to help our agents win, which there are over 1,000 of them throughout the country right now working with us to use this system, what we have been able to do is take the industry average sales model, which is, hey, Bob, I think I might have something that you need or want, and you're going to have to pay me for that, but would you sit down with me and let me talk to you about it, right? Sure, maybe Bob will say yes, maybe Bob is interested, maybe Bob is a friend or a family member, right? So you'll win that appointment, but you won't necessarily win the business, because if they don't qualify for some reason, or if they don't have the budget for some reason, right? This is a primary reason that most people will sell term instead of perm or whole life. I would rather sell a whole life product because of all of the benefits to them and to me, right? I can make more money that way. I can help people in a bigger way than term. It's just in case of emergency break glass policy. But most people just sell term because they don't want to stay in the pocket long enough to coach their client through a needs assessment and find the money that they would have to fund this premium. So they're just going to take the term policy. What money do they have left over in their budget to fund, this in case of emergency break glass? Because you need it, you got to have it. Just had a baby, better get some life insurance, right? And that's the way that most of us come into it. The first time I purchased life insurance before I understood what I was doing, my agent sold me a term policy. A couple years later, when we started doing what we were doing, and now I understand the value of permanent insurance or whole life versus term, I wanted to convert that policy. I couldn't get a hold of the guy. I couldn't get a hold of the guy. I wanted to give him more money and I couldn't get a hold of him. But I get a letter in the mail from his agency. Hey, did you know the value of whole life versus term, or that we can do this or that for you? So again, even a system that is designed for him to win, he's probably not in business anymore. That's why I couldn't get a hold of him, right? It didn't work for him. And if he would have taken the time to coach me through the value of whole life, I would have invested more money. He didn't even try. He didn't stay in the pocket long enough and do a needs assessment, which would help me understand it. So how have we created a system to take you from the industry average broken sales model for profit to a consultative model? Yeah, so the question really becomes, how have we been able to take the industry average broken life insurance sales model to a more effective system, right? And, listen, the first time I was introduced to workplace benefits, Aflac got it right. They came into my office, they said, hey, listen, if you allow us to sit with your team and talk to them about this, we'll buy everybody lunch. And while they stuff their face, we're gonna stuff their brain with our content, right? And a few of us actually purchased those products. And so that, if we're riffing from, learning from what works, that can be an effective system. So the 2025 Project Blue, lead gen system, right, is tax incentives. What we have done, so we're in business over a decade now, and what we have found is that if a business has more than 10 employees, they're eligible for some very specific tax incentives. And they're essentially, by not leveraging these incentives, they are overpaying in taxes. And so the system that we use is very simple. We've got all of the systems and processes in place to find them this money. Ultimately, that money becomes the budget that would fund your products. The cool thing about this first tax incentive that we leverage is that it's an employee wellness tax incentive, and we build in a life insurance product. So the funds from the tax incentive covers the wellness plan and covers a life insurance product. So we've got to have licensed reps to be able to promote this product so that we can pay you commission. So our entire business model, the reason that there's over 1,000 agents working with us is because they use this system to bring their clients to us. We then walk their clients through the process of enrolling them in this plan, and we're finding these clients tens of thousands of dollars. And every one of those wellness plans has a life insurance product baked into it. This is a whole life product. This is a product that you will get paid commissions on. But if you think about it like this, we were talking with some New York life agents the other day. And one of the guys is a new rep. He's trying to build his book, and he's canvassing. That's all he's doing. I asked him, how many doors do you have to knock on to create an opportunity for yourself? He said, 7 doors. That's my average. If I go into 7 businesses today, I'll create 1 appointment. And I said, okay, and so how many hours does it take per day for you to do that? And he's like, well, not long, but I'm not always doing it back to back. I'm like, okay, well, how many days a week are you doing it? Well, not every day. I'm like, but in theory, if you walked into 7 businesses a day, you could create 1 appointment per day. That means you have 20 appointments per month, right? And I'm like, he says, yeah. How many do you want to have? It's like, twice that many is what I need to really make the money I need. I said, man, that's a lot of effort. He said, yeah. Well, what if you walked into one of those businesses, you specifically target business owners that have more than 10 employees? Do you think that if you walked into one of those businesses and said, listen, you're eligible for this tax incentive, we just want to give you this money. I'm a licensed insurance professional, that's the reason that I'm here, but really I'm here to give, right? We would like to spend some time with you. Looks like based upon the number of employees, this benefit is worth $20,000 to you, and ancillary benefits for your employees is $20,000 worth 20 minutes of your time. If so, let's book a call and sit down and talk about it. The cool thing about this system is that business owner is now a new lead for you for what you do outside of this tax incentive. And every one of those 20 employees is now a new lead for you for what you do outside of this tax incentive, because we're providing them this benefit and it's got a whole life component, which most people don't know how that works as a future planning asset, as an investment vehicle. And so you are now the professional that introduced them. You are now their trusted advisor, right? Even better than feeding them lunch, right? You're giving them benefits and a financial plan for their family for the future. So my question to him was like, hey, so if one of those businesses had 20 employees, they enroll, you now have 21 leads to sit down and do a needs assessment for a financial planner for life insurance. Do you think that would help you get to your goal faster? He said, yes, of course, that's amazing. His mind was blown because think about it. Even if he continues to knock on 7 doors, walk into 7 businesses every day, he is, creating a 20x return on each of those appointments. So for the ones that convert, one of those creates 21 opportunities for him. We're going to find the business owner a lot more money than the employees are going to get in their little cash value plan. So if we find that business owner 20K, you think that's more valuable than a sandwich, right? To earn his time, you now have his trust because you gave him money. And check this out. That first wellness incentive is just one of many different tax incentives that we know these businesses are eligible for. And that's what we've been doing for the last decade. The way this all began is my partner's a financial planner. One of his clients found some money from a tax incentive and came and said, hey, I've got this extra $200K to invest with you. It's like, where did this come from? My partner then came to me. I had done some marketing and sales for him in the past, and he's like, look, I've got an idea about how I can find my clients more money, but I wouldn't know how to market and sell it. I wouldn't know how to structure it. Can you help me figure this out? And throughout the process of this conversation, I told him, dude, I think this is bigger than just a way for you to find more money for your clients. This is bigger than just a way for you to make more money. This could be a way for us to help a lot of people, financial planners, CPAs, life and health, PNC, even health insurance agents, right? This process is a much better lead magnet. It's a much better door opener because it's not a sales, I'm asking you for your time so you can give me money. It's a, hey, I'm giving you money so that I can have some of your time. And then once we give them that money, what do you think they're going to do with that? Well, at the very least, they're going to listen to what you think they should do about it because we just help them in their business. And then, like I said, with us, phase 2, we're going to identify every other tax incentive possible for them. We recently had a guy come through this wellness incentive. We found him like $10,000 in his business, which is not a tremendous amount of money, but for him, it was a material change. So he's able to make a big profit that month, right? Well, we talked him through the process and wanted to have that conversation for the needs assessment post-enrollment. And what we realized was he had $125K sitting in a bank account because he inherited it from a family member like a year ago. Wasn't doing anything, wasn't gaining interest. He didn't know what to do with it. So when we began this conversation with him, suddenly the light bulb came on and he's like, wow, well, I've got all of this money. I didn't know what to do with it. Thank you guys so much for talking me through this. You see, most small business owners don't have financial planners and consultants who are targeting them as the ideal client, as the ideal avatar, because they don't have a lot of money, right? But if we give them money and we earn their trust, then referrals will come, but revenue will come. And the cool thing about this system is that, like I said, you got one product to sell. If they buy it, you lost your best lead, on to the next one. If they don't, you lost your best lead, on to the next one. What if we had a system in place that when you convert a client, not only did you create all of these additional opportunities for yourself, but we're going to find them other programs and you are going to get paid for every single one of those programs, because that's our entire business model. This is a strategic partnership that we're offering here. We're not a captive agency. We're not going to sell you a lead gen system. I don't want you to call Age leads lists unless those lists are business owners, because the more of those business owners you speak to, the more money you will make and the more opportunities you create for yourself. And so fundamentally, we want you all to be more than agents. I want to be more than an agent. I want to have more than just a sales and lead gen skill set. I want to have more than just a circle of influence and do a lot of networking. I want to have a consultative approach to everything that I do. And this really sets us up for success in the needs assessment. If we approach our clients with this consultative methodology and then get them to sit with us, well, they already view us as their trusted advisors. So when it comes to what we suggest they would do with that money, we've got a captive audience. All right, so just to wrap up with a few key points here. The industry average life insurance sales model is broken. We have fixed it, or not fixed it. We've created a solution. And this solution is not a product, it's a process. The process is we want to flip you from a sales model, I might have something you need, but you got to give me money for it, to I definitely have your money, you're eligible for this tax incentive. We're like Robin Hood for these business owners. We're just introducing them to money that they're overpaying in taxes. The cool part is we don't have to steal anything back. It's their money. They just don't know how to ask for it or identify it. So you now become a trusted advisor. The cool thing about this is that for every one of those employees that the business employs, those are now all new leads for you. You can sit with each of them and do a needs assessment, life insurance, financial planning, whatever it is that you want to talk with them about. This model is designed to help you serve others. And our methodology is the more we serve others, the more successful we become. A byproduct of that is the money that we can make. And again, if you convert one opportunity, which turns into 20 leads for you, right? Then, the money is good. It's clear that when we're providing information that is going to benefit their business and their employees, they trust us a lot more than they would if we just came to talk to them about, something to protect their family. Even if they need it, it does not carry the same type of authority and certainty and consulting that something like this does. So just so you guys know, I'm going to be doing sales training for life insurance agents throughout the rest of the year. We've got a goal to recruit another 500 agents this year. So if you are a licensed agent that is about to give up or already gave up and because you didn't make enough money, come check us out. If you are a new agent that is attempting to grow your book, not only are we going to help you grow your book faster, but we're going to help you make more money faster. Because again, just so you guys know, although only 8% of us succeed and do it again for the second year, we believe we have a system and there's plenty to go around. Millions of businesses throughout the country who have not yet taken advantage of these tax incentives, which have these products baked in, put you right in line to be an expert, to talk to each of them about it. And then we're going to walk these business owners through multiple other tax incentives that they're eligible for. Listen, I didn't really wrap this into the beginning of the video, but my name is Sean Boccaccini. I'm the co-founder of the Better Tomorrow Financial Group, doing business as Project Blue. Project Blue Foundation specializes in tax programs, rebates, and incentives. My background is simple. I've been in high-ticket sales in a remote role for years and years and years. I helped to build and scale some pretty big brands and teams. Alex Hormozy, Jim Launch, right? All of the team at acquisitions.com. They're people that are very close to me. So I spent a lot of time defining, refining, building, and selling in a high-ticket closing environment, right? So I was able to bring all of those skill sets here to Project Blue and build a systems for agents that is going to help us make more money and help more people faster. So if you are tired of the broken model, or if the model you're having works but you want to go faster, reach out to us. Let's have a conversation. I will be happy to be of service with you and spend as much time as we need to make this all make sense.